Welcome today, everyone. My name is Marissa Graham with Automated Marketing Solutions, and I'll be your host for today's call. I have with me today Dr. Stephen Nelligar, who is the President of Physicians Marketing Solutions and CVO of the Doctorpreneur Academy. Stephen is the author of several marketing books, videos, and audio programs, including the How to Build a $1 Million Cash Practice System. He holds live seminars and events nationally teaching doctors and healthcare providers the skills they need to incorporate new revenue centers into their practice and how to quickly convert them into thriving profit centers. With over 10 years of experience in developing turnkey marketing programs for both pain management and cosmetic centers throughout the United States, Dr. Nelligar now teaches physicians his easy-to-follow two-part marketing system for developing waiting list-only cosmetic and pain relief practices. His unique automated marketing process takes the headache out of promoting your new revenue center, allowing you to easily and affordably attract high-quality cases to your practice while you simply relax and concentrate on practicing medicine. Welcome, Dr. Nelligar, and congratulations on your soon-to-be-launched Doctorpreneur Academy.
Well, thank you, Marissa. It's really actually pretty great things for the healthcare profession there.
Now, the Doctorpreneur Academy is going to be launched in conjunction with your Vision Day 2010 event, which is actually being held in New York on January 16th and 17th.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, before we get started with today's topic, I do have to ask you one question. I've heard of a CEO, I've heard of a CFO, but what is a CVO?
It's funny. Ever since I started using that title there, people have asked me a lot, what a CVO stands for. And it actually stands for Chief Visionary Officer, a title I feel that entrepreneurs don't use as often as they should. So let me just explain a little bit there. Before there's a business model or, as I say, a success plan created, there's always a vision, right? There has to be a vision first. Walt Disney first had an awesome vision, then came the plan. It's the entrepreneur that actually creates that vision, hence the title CVO. So with the launch of the Doctorpreneur Academy, there's actually going to be resources available to doctors and healthcare providers which will actually help them become a better entrepreneur, if you will.
Okay, and now more than ever, that's what's needed with the recession and the healthcare reform, doctors constantly being overworked, and the insurance cuts that there is in the United States.
Well, you're right. The entrepreneur, the visionary, within most doctors that are small business owners, often goes to sleep, if you will, during times like we're in right now. I always emphasize the words physicians who own and operate their own practice specifically, because on the whole, this subgroup is a very unique group. To almost kind of help explain to the audience this point, let me go over the three particular roles that can be found in just about every business, such as an aesthetics practice. There's the entrepreneur, as I mentioned before, the visionary, who has the big idea for the business. And from there, the products and services and success plans actually begin. There's also the technician, or the person who delivers these services, right? That person exists in the business model as well. Then there's the manager who actually oversees the business, be it the day-to-day operations, the marketing campaigns and results, or the dreaded term overhead, right? There's the manager who actually oversees that. Now, even if a doctor has an office manager, I moved from having 4 centers of my own in New York City, the doctor actually manages as well. So unfortunately for doctors, we tend to be all three. That's the one problem we have as doctors in a small business. The doctor is the technician. In some states, only a physician can perform the actual services. So, for instance, in the state of New Jersey, only the doctor can operate a laser. In the chiropractic profession, it's only the chiropractor that can give the actual adjustment. So we are the technician by the nature of our license. We're also the manager, because even though we have an office manager, we're still managing and overseeing our own business. So if it's not going well, and it's the doctor that's up at night staring at the ceiling, wondering if they're going to make payroll that month. Unfortunately, during times like this, the stress of being the technician and the manager almost sabotages the entrepreneur within. Because in most cases, or in most practices where the owner trades dollars for hours, growth means more work, and for the technician and the manager, that's almost like a no-no. Growth means they have to work harder. So something has to change to restore the balance so that the entrepreneur can be reawakened, and growth can happen in the practice, and all kind of roles can be, once again, acting in harmony.
Okay, and to help these doctors, or really any entrepreneur, avoid this trap and awaken the entrepreneur within them, so to speak, you've developed a system that you've taught for years to your one-on-one coaching clients, and that system is divided into 3 modules. And I've heard you talk about the system many times, and it talks about stability, growth, and financial freedom.
That's right. We help doctors create a stable business that's positioned for lifetime growth and financial freedom in any economy. That's basically the concept behind the Doctorpreneur Academy with this stability, growth, and financial freedom model. When we bring in a new client into our program, we begin by analyzing these 3 key areas in their business. And then based on the deficiencies or just their wants and goals, we incorporate our turnkey systems to help them get on track. So if they need help with their marketing and promotions, we have all the online and offline tools to help them succeed. If it's staff training or retraining they need help with, we have a Star Success program that we actually put their staff members through that training program. This program also includes training for estheticians and massage therapists. So there's a whole wellness movement now, and part of wellness is looking good and feeling great. So we have many clients that are opening up wellness centers, weight loss centers, aesthetic centers, medical spas, pain relief centers, which is really focusing on the feel-good component of the looking good, feeling great. So with that Star Success program, we also have training for the ancillary staff, not just the front desk or the billers, but also, maybe it's an esthetician, a PA, nurse who may also be instrumental into the business model. We've extended out this program, and that whole Star Success program the concept there is creating a self-motivated team with an attitude for success that generates referrals and creates sales. If you had that as your winning team, people who had that kind of mentality and focus, we always talk about our team of stars, right? We shine just as bright as our stars, right? The stars shining up against us, so if we have a winning team of stars, our business actually is the benefactor of that. So sometimes the doctor just needs a new revenue model, we find also, because their existing practice is running full throttle with their present model, and they can't really get more revenue out of it. So in this case, as part of their success plans, we will recommend to them some new revenue centers they can quickly and easily incorporate into their practice, many of which, such as weight loss, is a cash-based model with very, very little capital outlay to incorporate that into their business.
Okay, and if they need training on how to perform that particular service, you have programs for them where they can get the training they need?
Yeah, that's right. As doctors, we have to remember the words, doctors do no harm. So, when we talk about the Doctorpreneur Academy model, we believe that giving the best quality care to the patient is paramount. And on a business level, even the greatest marketing can't grow a practice if the care is substandard. So what we've done, we also have programs to help doctors get the training they need as it's instrumental in their success with that new service. If they need extra training in how to incorporate a weight loss practice and they want to add fitness to that, we have training modules for that. Or if it's aesthetic services, we have training modules for that too.
Well, that's great. So you're actually giving your clients a turnkey success system with ongoing support. That's excellent. And I mean, I've seen some consultants, especially in the cosmetic industry, that help people set up their office and teach marketing ideas. And there are medical training companies, but none do everything. So besides the automated tools and systems that you provide your clients with, you also have training and ongoing support covered as well. So it's more of a turnkey system that you have going there.
Yeah, and that's exactly, because we found a lot of times over the years that you can't just do one without the other. So we kind of, with the Doctorpreneur Academy, helping doctors become better entrepreneurs, some of its training, some of its marketing, some of its support, so we kind of just incorporate that all into the one model.
Yeah, okay. So with 2010 coming, and it's coming fast, I wanted to touch upon a program that you're offering to doctors and healthcare providers. that we've actually worked on together for several years for several of your clients, whereby you help the doctor launch their new revenue center or business.
Yeah, once we determine what the new product is going to be, let's say it's going to be Botox and fillers or weight loss, we have a 3-month step-by-step program where we not only provide you with the tools needed to help you get the new business venture off the ground, but also creates the necessary momentum needed to make that business a success. Then when we actually have physical products like nutraceuticals and cosmeceuticals that you can sell in your practice to help generate revenue as well. So we've actually started to develop, not just the tools and the education, but we actually have tangible products that if the doctor wanted to be private labeling on some of those products, which is very powerful, they can just do that as well now.
And sorry, what's the name of that program again?
It's called the Launch Your Cash Practice Program.
Okay, so New Year's is just around the corner, and let's say I were a doctor or healthcare provider that owns their own practice, and I just incorporated, say, weight loss or Botox into my practice, and I'm getting ready to start promoting this service. Can you take me through the mind map steps that you would go through with me if I were your client?
Yes, we basically break it out, and we'll refer to the PowerPoint at this point now. Is that we basically break it out to like 5 essentials, so the 5 essentials to a successful promotion. And we could call that a launch if it's a brand new launch you're doing, or if it's a promotional event that you're holding. But we'll go with the example we're talking about. It's the new year, and weight loss is a great concept to introduce or launch if you haven't really embraced weight loss in your practice. It's the whole wellness movement, healthcare reform, and also New Year's. How many people are going to wake up New Year's Day going, this is the year. This is the year I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to lose 20 pounds, whatever it might be. So it is, we're talking about timing is everything. The same message at a different time may not get the same response, right?
Right.
So people are the most responsive during this time of year. So it is
most vulnerable.
Yeah, and then also another time of year like just before bathing suit season.
Sure.
I've been hiding under a sweater. Now it's time to to get ready for the beach. So that's the next time of the year where people start going, I'm going to be wearing a sweater at that barbecue again.
Right.
So there's basically 5 essentials, and I'll kind of go through that, and we'll go into each one in a little more detail. But we'll talk about plan first. You have to have a plan. And that's pretty extensive. We go through that in quite a lot of detail, but for just this call here now, we'll just talk about 1 or 2 components of a plan. But that's number 1. Next thing is target. So the plan is I want to bring weight loss into my practice, and we talk about target or the target audience.
Right. Next
thing is a strategy. What is the strategy that we can introduce to that audience to get them to take the next step? It could be a baby step, like getting a free report or signing up for an e-course or coming to a live event or a teleseminar. There's many different strategies. The next thing is tools. What are the best tools available to allow me to get that message to this target audience? So that message and that strategy that I have to get that message to the target audience. So there's many different tools for that. And next thing we talk about is campaign. So once you have all that in place, we really say that make it a campaign, like it's a presidential electoral campaign. They're not out there, shaking hands, kissing babies one day. It's a campaign across a certain amount of time. So once you know when the launch date is, you then start to build your steps in the campaign leading up to that launch. So these are basically the 5 essentials that are needed to be in place to have a successful promotional event or a successful launch.
Right, okay.
So let's talk about plan. When we get into plan, we always say about know what you want. As the entrepreneur, you're the one that everyone looks to, right? You're the one that everybody's actually looking up to. So you have to be the leader of the ship. So know what you want, and then you can help others, right?
And I think a lot of entrepreneurs and small businesses, go into business without a plan, and it is absolutely essential that they have a plan in place before they even begin.
And it's really even funny, Marissa, when we do these training seminars too. Some of them, when I always do this, and that's why I put this slide up, I just start out by asking them, how much do you want to make and how many hours a week do you want to work? And I even make it easier, like let's put that a month. Like how many hours, how much money do you want to make a month, and how many hours a week do you want to work? Mm-hmm. And I get an audience full of doctors looking at me with blank stares on their face because they're not used to someone asking them what they want, because managed care and things like that tells you what you're going to get reimbursed for that service. You may send a bill in for $200, and you get $87.50 is what you get back. It's like, oh, okay, that's better than last time. So we've been so used to being told what our value is. When entrepreneur to entrepreneur, that's why I start my talks now saying, good morning, entrepreneurs. And it's a very unique breed of entrepreneurs. So when we're talking to each other, and I just say, what do you want? That's the easiest thing. Don't look to any consultant to tell you what you should do. First start off with what you want, and then a consultant can help you get from A to B. When we're talking about here, how much, so when we said there's more extensive concept of a plan, but just for starters, we always talk about what does the doctor want? Mm-hmm. And then from there, we can work backwards. So if he says, I'd like to make $50,000 a month, and I'd like to work 20 hours a week, you'd be surprised. A lot of seminars I teach, people say, yeah, I'd like to make, $20,000 a month, and I'd like to work 40 hours a week. And I'm like, do you want a normal work week? Because doctors are working 50, 60, 70 hours, especially people in hospital and stuff like that. They're working extensively. So it's very funny to hear, and $20,000 a month, I'm like, wow, there's like, non-healthcare professionals making that amount of money. So it's very interesting that, when they talk about what their wants are, and then I always kind of make a joke and say, all right, I'll give you a raise. Let's aim it a little bit higher. Yeah. So then the concept there is to think outside the box, if you will, on how to get from point A to point B. And I always give the example that, the most effective, least time-consuming way to achieve your goal, the quickest way from point A to point B, traditionally is a straight line, and most people will say that it's a straight line. But now if I put a mountain between point A and point B, a straight line is not the quickest way. The answer is always the path of least resistance. So what we do is we help you get from point A to point B, taking the path of least resistance. There's no need to drill through a mountain. There's ways of getting to that number of working less and making more. And there's technology. There's many adding revenue centers, especially ones where you can outsource and have other people do the work for you, or use technology to go ahead and we talk about tools, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But there's many ways in which you can take the path of least resistance, as long as you're looking for the path of least resistance. And sometimes I say think outside of the box. You have to reach out to someone else, because sometimes in your own world, and you're almost, you're asking your manager or your PA, or you're asking, people that are in your environment, they can't see it either, right? Well, so sometimes the path.
Sorry, I think a lot of people as well, they don't look to proven systems and proven things that work. They they try many different things rather than going for the proven path.
Oh, and it's true. But there is a phobia of technology in the healthcare profession. It's hilarious. Like a lot of people I meet, they actually, the cardiac surgeon, he's opening up a chest cavity. A neurosurgeon, or just a general practitioner, or chiropractor, adjusting someone's neck, and physical therapists, pain relief doctors, needles and spine, right? They're doing all sorts of things. But when it comes to some technologies, they get kind of nervous. Right. Those are the ones back in the old days we'd make jokes that, the VCR is still blinking with the date, the still blinking on the VCR. But if you have technology that's turnkey, where it's almost, just set it and forget it type concept, that's the type of technology that doctors or doctorpreneurs should be looking for. Right. Not going ahead and trying to, like I'm going to set up my own website, and I'm going to go and download a template, and I'm going to go wrestle with this and then try to make it do all these things, set it and forget it concept. There are people out there that do things, and that's just the way they do it. Things for them that would be work for us is fun for them. Those are the ones you want to find when it comes to getting from A to B with the path of least resistance. Alrighty, so we're talking about knowing what you want with the plan. One of the things that to consider is rebranding. So if I was ABC Family Medicine and now I'm bringing in aesthetic services, well, there might be that mismatch. We're talking about rebranding may be needed. So I'll give you an example. If we look at these common brands, Coca-Cola, the Wall Street Journal, right, Apple, which one would you say is authoritative, which one would you say is innovative, and which one you would say is fun? There's a preconceived notion that Coca-Cola is fun, Wall Street Journal is authoritative, and Apple is innovative. I mean, we know that. So you're branded already if it's ABC Family Medicine Practice. Now you're bringing in some of these other services. There may need to be a slight rebranding, or you can have a, ABC Practice located at ABC Family Medicine. So there's many strategies and techniques. Here's one doctor in particular. It was a physiatrist. People said he was crazy. What, are you kidding me? A physiatrist doing, aesthetics and wellness and weight loss and things like that. It's never going to work. Well, what we did was we did kind of a rebrand. He had a very powerful last name. That's his last name, Rejuvenation Center. It's about how you look and how you feel. The physiatrist was working on helping people feel better, and now he was approaching certain services to help people look better, both by losing some pounds and as well as maybe, eliminating some wrinkles. So that rebranding worked nicely for him.
Right.
So again, that's part of plans. Like I stated, plan is probably you always plan before you do, right? If you're going to move furniture, you're planning. If you're going to redo or build a house, hopefully you have an architect and you're planning it out before you actually, mind mapping it before you actually go ahead and start doing it. So the plan is a little bit, the more extensive part of that launch. Once you have the plan in place, next thing you talk about is, well, who's the target audience that's really going to care about this message? So that, look your best in 2010. What target audience, and that's based on the product that you're actually going to be presenting. So one of the target audiences we always talk about is going after your low-hanging fruit. Your active and inactive patients are the most responsive audience because there's been a relationship at some time. There was some interaction at some time. So active and inactive patients, that's the low-hanging fruit. That's where you would start. Also, a lot more about that audience because in your computer, you can tell where they live. You have that from your billing software. Their birthday tells you a very powerful piece of information when it comes to maybe Botox and aesthetic services. Their age, right? The birthday is going to tell you their age. So if you're going to target a message to an audience about look the best for the new year and resources have it that, you're on a shoestring budget, well, instead of sending out a postcard to 20,000 or 5,000, whatever you have in your database patient list, you can funnel that down, and maybe if you do your age demographic from, so you want to go after people from 35 to 55, okay, now that list might get down to 1,000. Now you're working with a workable number. And when we talk about going with inactive patients, the emphasis there is any patient that's been in within the last year. So inactive 10 years ago, again, phase 2 of, your promotional campaign, you may start based on response rate of that first pool. You may start, decide to go a little bit further out. So anyone might have been in a year and a half, because they're still fitting in the age demographic. So age would be first, and then when was the last time they were in. But definitely always go after the low-hanging fruit, and people that have some sort of interaction with you at some time, they're the most responsive because when that postcard comes, oh, it's Dr. Steve, there's name recognition on some level. So again, when we talk about active and inactive patients, here's one patient per se, and maybe she's coming for some of these services that you offer that I have listed on the right. So when we look at this patient, we sit there and go, well, maybe this patient can use some of our other services that we're introducing now. She's at the age bracket, maybe she does need to lose a couple of pounds. That when we want to go ahead and introduce this new service. And part of when we talk about weight loss, we're starting when we talk about weight loss, we're talking about a new social network that we're going to be releasing. Where when we talk about weight loss, we talk about a new social network that we're going to be releasing. It's called Weight Control Docs. So the concept there is not just about losing weight, it's take the weight off and keep it off. And with that, we're focusing on diet, right? So controlling your diet. So when we look at somebody who may be coming to you for acne, well, there's detox diets that people can be on that will actually help not just cleanse the whole body, but by the nature of cleansing, someone's colon and cleansing the whole body, you're affecting the skin as well. So you can revisit condition-specific based on that age demographic, or someone who's been in for acne treatments, because part of my weight control program, there's going to be a detox arm, and I think these people that are concerned about their skin and blemishes would, if I educate them about how detox can help clear their skin, they're a responsive audience and would listen. So you see how we're funneling down not just the product and the age and when they came in, but if they happen to come for a specific service at some time, we can revisit that as well.
Okay, great.
So then after we talk about active and active local businesses, that's another target group. So if I was looking to incorporate weight loss, well, there's gyms, right? We talk about JV partners are similar but non-competing businesses. A gym is helping people look great by losing weight by exercise. You would be doing it with your protocols that you have. So they're a similar but non-competing business. So a gym would be. So with facial aesthetics, maybe it's a hair salon or a nail salon. They're helping people look good, how their hair looks and things like that. So you're helping them with Botox and SkinCeuticals or cosmeceuticals and micronebrasions, and if you have laser procedures as well. So you're basically looking at these similar but non-competing businesses. And then once we have that list and our strategy, again, we'll talk a little bit about the tools we can use to actually reach out to those businesses. But they're on our target audience list. The media. Letting the media know that you were once ABC Medical and you still are ABC Family Practice or Medical, but you're now adding these additional services to help better serve our community. Or fill a void in the community, especially with this wellness message. We're talking about health care, right? Helping people be healthy, and that's all the concept of wellness, and doctors are positioned nicely to do that, so that might be a new message that the media would be interested in listening to. Next thing is community residents. And we talk about those in your area who meet income and gender criteria. New movers, right? They just moved to the town, and say, I give you an example of it was a pain relief practice, a new mover mailer that be relating moving could be a pain in the neck or whatever it might be your message is going to be, but you're targeting that message. So we talk about message to market match, targeting that message to new movers based on your services, right? So look your best in your new house, right? So new movers, that's a very viable target audience for your launch or your promotion. Right. And then those are having a birthday, the month of your launch. If you could, somehow get that list and target the people having a birthday as a way of saying happy birthday, come on in and you'll receive a free anti-aging skin treatment. That's our way of saying happy birthday. All right, so the next step we talk about is the strategy. What is the strategy to get them to take the next step? So one thing we have to realize when we talk about strategy, and I don't know if you remember this because we had this conversation once, that the hardest thing to overcome in an audience is inertia. It's an object at rest will stay at rest unless acted upon by an outside force. Right. But the good thing about that, and just a little, the opposite goes through. An object in motion will stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. So once you have momentum built, don't blow it by, not keeping the momentum you built going forward. So the way you overcome inertia, you need an actionizer, something that will cause your audience to take action. Otherwise, they get the postcard and it says, oh, yeah, weight loss, great. Look your best in 2010. Well, there's 12 months in 2010, so I'll call you sometime in February or March, But there needs to be an actionizer that's put together based on an expiration date. And if there's a unique offer, we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But if there's a unique offer in place with an expiration date, there's this actionizer. That's one of them, but then it could be a secondary actionizer to get fast. So free. It's a very powerful, very, very powerful word in marketing. We always talked about, free being a concept that you can put into your advertising. And just on a side note, there's the three most powerful words that you can use. We're talking about in marketing, a headline. 85% of the success of an ad comes from the headline. Right. And then the three most powerful words you can put in the headline is, number one is free. So we talk about, free seminar, free workshops. I mean, these are other ways you can use the word free. Another concept or word that you can use in the headline that's very, very powerful is now. the action word. It's an action word now. Look younger now. Feel great now. By giving an action word, you're saying it's not going to happen 10 years from now. With Botox, you can look younger now. Within 7 days, you're going to start seeing the change. Right. The last powerful word that you can put in the headline is sex, or the word sexy, or derivative of sex. Sexy smile, sexy legs. And if you could put all three words together, free sex now, you'll get a lot of people calling your you might not be for those reasons, but anyway, just a little marketing 101 there for you. But free is a very powerful word, is what I'm getting at here. But there's other ways to use the word free. Consultation is the weakest because everybody's kind of saying, if you see an ad, plastic surgeons, everybody's using the word free consultation. I'm saying, and a lot of people also know the consultation at the end is going to be the pitch. And if I'm not ready, if I'm not in the now buyer stage,
right,
going forward for that consultation, I know at the end you're not just doing it for the fun of it. There's going to be, if you sign up now, so sometimes for those curiosity seekers and the information gatherers that aren't really at that third step yet, they're ready to do something now, they shy away from a free offer that's based on a consultation.
Right.
Another one that you can use, or several other ones you can use, is a product or a service. Not really the best for the doctor because you're actually giving away a product or service, but it's powerful as well. A screening is good. If they could come in for some sort of a screening, the body fat analysis in the case of weight loss, that is a body fat, or a computerized complexion analysis in the case of skin care, or computerized motion analysis in the case of pain relief. But a screening is that much higher up on the scale than a consultation because they're actually getting something they can take away as well, or a report that's going to come from that. Membership, that's something that we talk a lot about now with our doctors, setting up with membership sites. So you could become a member, so there's a membership site that goes with that, or if you're setting up a VIP type practice where you're a member of my practice, there's an exclusive benefits you get, like American Express membership has its privileges, right? So there's certain membership benefits that they would get by joining the practice at a certain level. Let's say but and then another one, the best one, is really a book signing. Here's an example of, can get your free autographed copy of this informative book. Just bring this coupon into our office. And we had this thing in the corner, bring a camera and take a picture of the doctor. But now that puts you up as an authority, the author of a book, right? So coming forward on that level, even if they don't move forward, they at least saw that you wrote a book. And then in some conversation with someone at some time, if they're looking to go to a wellness practice, there was this doctor, he wrote a book, 101 Great Ways to Improve Your Health. Even though they never went to, the doctor himself, but the fact that they're an author, there's something special, and this caught their eye. Again, more powerful than coming for a free consultation. Here it was, in addition, come in and you'll get a free autographed copy of this informative book if they brought this coupon along with them. Again, another strategy. Okay. Here's a complexion analysis. There's many different complexion analysis units out there. But you see here, this is I had one of these complexion analysis done.
I was going to say, that guy looks familiar.
That looks familiar, right? That's me. It's funny. I lived in Antigua for a year, and, as you can see, the UV spots in the lower right-hand corner, I have quite a lot of photo damage. I was like, that's me. What do little yellow dots mean? They're like, well, you had a lot of fun in the sun. I see Steve. And I was like, yeah, I kind of did. Yeah. But it tells you information about your skin. It's very hard to describe to someone you have very porous skin. It's very hard to describe. Or to describe the porphyrin content of that bacteria-producing stuff and, content in your skin. Those are not things, wrinkles you can see. Yeah. Obvious spots you can see. But, you can see some of the effects of sun damage. But units like this, once you put your face in front of that, even though they came in for consultation for Botox, if this is your standard operating procedure that everybody who comes in and is here for a skin analysis, they get a computerized analysis and a report. It's almost like, standard operating. You go to a doctor's office, even if you're there for toe pain, they're going to take your temperature, blood pressure. Just there's certain standard things that are done when you go to a doctor's office. Same thing here. What we teach our doctors, and in the Doctorpreneur Academy, we go into some more detail about diagnostic tools and how it can help you create, not just conversion on the initial product that you're offering, but secondary products without selling. We teach a course called Zero Resistance Selling, where the concept there is to get people to buy from you, not you sell them.
Mm-hmm.
And once you put up something like this and walk outside the room, and they're sitting there looking at it, and we always tell our doctors, put in a big flat panel TV, not a little computer monitor. Get it up there on a big flat panel. Leave the room for a second. They're sitting there with the results up there. They're looking. And then when you walk in, 9 out of 10 times, they're saying, over there in the lower right-hand corner, like, well, what are all those little yellow dots? And I said, go figure. You're there for the crooked 11, on your forehead, and you're pointing about something else.
Right.
Again, address the main complaint that they came in for, but, you'll also say, well, sun damage. I used to go to the beach all the time. When I was younger, I never wore sunscreen. Well, we have certain treatments here, laser procedures that we can do, but let's focus right now on these wrinkles that you came in for. You always address why they came in, and that's when you start the process of zero resistance selling, because you're not all over the place, trying to just get them to buy something.
Mm-hmm.
But diagnostic tools is what I'm getting at. Actually helps that happen very easily. Again, free membership, skincare membership, acne membership. These are all membership sites we set up now. Weight loss, right? And when they go there, they can go. There's daily tips. There's BMI calculators. There's calorie counters. All on these membership sites. They can download recipes. They're all the tools to help them succeed. But what does it do for the doctorpreneur? Well, they actually start to free up time because they don't have to keep answering questions. They just go to the membership site. Right. That recipe you gave me, I lost a piece of paper. Can you give it to me again? Go to the membership site. You can download it. You can deflect a lot of the wasted time that your secondary team is, they're answering these questions. But I can just say, if you have any problems, go there, and you can, download this stuff. Right. So, and then we set up forums as well where they can actually interact with each other now.
Mm-hmm.
So, creating a team or creating that environment.
Mm-hmm.
And then fitness and health is, other concepts that you can put together. But you basically, with the concept of a membership, there's added value on why they should answer the question, why should they choose you over everyone else, including nothing at all, and why do it now? Well, you could say, if you sign up now, the membership is usually X, but we're going to offer it for Y, or it's free. Mm-hmm. If you sign up in conjunction with our end-of-the-year event, or, getting ready for the new year, or, whatever catchy term you want to call the promotional event that you're holding, you're able to leverage this membership.
Mm-hmm.
So after strategy, we go into tools. And here's where you guys come and play a lot when it comes to the tools to help get that message out. There's many different techniques I always teach: snail mail, email, voicemail. Because someone could, you ever have that, Marissa? Sometimes you'll say, I didn't get your email. All right, spam blockers, it may have happened. Now I say, you get my letter? No, I didn't get the letter. Steve, I didn't get your letter. All right, maybe somebody threw it out. Did you get my voicemail? No, I didn't get your voicemail. Now I'm starting to think it's just a voicemail. It's like, maybe you don't like me. I don't know. I was born and raised in the Bronx. You start to think, you didn't get my email, my letter, or my voicemail. I don't know. But in marketing, what we talk about is if you're able to put together a campaign that includes snail mail, which is, regular Pony Express,
right.
Postal service, email, and voicemail, your conversion rate goes up considerably because, again, like I stated, email, even the best email systems, sometimes the message doesn't get through.
Right.
So again, when we talk about tools, that's really what we're really focusing on there. So internal promotional tools, first thing we talk about is surveying. Surveying is very, very powerful. You can do that online and offline. So if you're introducing a new service, just print up a survey, write out a survey. If you're going to do it online, you can just create an online, the same questions you put in Microsoft Word. You can, with some services, you can cut and paste and throw that in to an online survey and email it to your list. Or you can go ahead and just, print it out, and then every new patient that comes in, these are some new services that we're looking to introduce to our practice to help our patients look and feel their best in the new year. And then you have just different services that you're thinking about offering. Mm-hmm. And then you also have the one you're going to offer, weight loss. So it's not just, would you like to try your weight loss? Okay, this is a one yes-no question. But embed that service amongst surrounding services, too, because this is how we talk about collateral marketing. Mm-hmm. If they checked off yes to weight loss, they checked off yes to body shaping or cellulite, well, guess what? You have a very, very complete business in a box right there, because people will come in to lose weight, sometimes like, yeah, I lost, 20 pounds, I still got this little love handle on the side.
Right.
Well, there's mesotherapy, there's other different, laser procedures that will help them, kind of lose the inches where they want the inches gone.
Mm-hmm.
So by putting certain services out there with secondary services, you can group them together where you have like a weight loss program, and then we can help shape you as well and help you take care of that cellulite. So that's the first and foremost. Send it as an email, and also you can send it out as as a survey in your office. And we did a strategy together too, where you actually do an SNX thing about calling. You guys have a service where you can actually send out a call in your voice to 5,000. The number I believe is unlimited of people. And one of the strategies we did is where we actually told them to be on the lookout for, and this was a layered effect, because there was a mailer coming out, and they were to be on the lookout for this mailer that was coming. Mm-hmm. And I was also reminding them that you'll also be receiving an email where there was a survey that they were to fill out. But by using that voice broadcast technology, instead of having to call, which you just physically can't do, 5,000 of your patients, if that was your target audience, and you funneled it down to your demographics and everything else, and it's inexpensive technology, right? And instantaneously you get results. Yeah. So, and recently we did that with a client. We were looking at the client's database, and they actually, for some reason, had a name, address, and phone number, but 30 or 40% of the people they did not have email addresses for. Mm-hmm. And they actually were like, they have the emails and stuff like that. I'm sure that they're sending emails out. We just don't have them. So what they did was they sent out 1,500, I believe it was, voice broadcast call, just saying we're updating our records. If you can, just give us a call over here, and we'd like to just make sure we have everything in place. Now, when a doctor's calling their patient saying that we're updating our records, well, I want to make sure everything's in place so I get every piece of information I need. Right. They had a very good response rate of people calling, and while they're on the phone, they say, well, we're missing, want to verify your phone number, want to verify your address. Okay, you haven't moved, the phone hasn't changed, you don't have an email address. Is there an email address? Oh, yes, here's my email address.
How often would you typically ask a patient to, would you send out something like that? Would it be yearly or?
Yeah, that's yearly because, your patients aren't going to give you usually I got this Yahoo account that I use just for promotional things when I'm ordering something, right? If someone has multiple different email addresses, but they usually give you the one that stays with them for life, the email address that they're giving to all their friends. Sometimes again they go somewhere and they might use this email address that they never really use because they just want to get this information right now. But when it comes to the documentation, they're usually giving the real one. They give a phone number. You might be out and back in the day, and maybe you met someone. Hey, what's your number? You might leave a digit off or whatever. It might be like that because you don't really want to be. But when it comes to consultations, the phone numbers aren't usually changing. So yearly would be something you would do. We also, when we do seasonal events, that's one of the strategies we teach with our Stay in Touch campaigns at seasonal events. So the layered effect, if you're doing because you do a voice call too often, it becomes almost like, wow, I'm getting these calls all the time. But if you do, quarterly when you're doing your seasonal events, and there's many strategies you guys have, right? You can either live answer, voicemail only. But if you do it on that level, or when it's a time frame when you want to get that message out, when his doctor sent out their message, they up front said it's an automated message, but we just wanted to get out, the message to all of our patients, and the best way to do it was with technology, and that's when they went into updating their information. So even if someone picked it up on their cell phone, they heard right up front that this is an automated call.
Right.
Right. But offline and online surveying your patients, because then from there, not only can you find out of that, if it was in your office, 100 people came in that month and 60 people said they would be interested in a weight loss program, right away you have not just an age demographic and gender demographic, you have they're now the next level. They're interested in that product. And then you also see about secondary products, so you can consider possibly when you roll out weight loss, you may want to roll out, a body shaping at the same time. You can take a course and quickly learn how to do mesotherapy, and works well for just spot fat. That was the whole concept for it. So when you're doing your weight loss program, you can also introduce your body shaping tool as well. Okay, and then we talk about seminars and teleseminars, right? We're on basically a telephone call right now. This technically could be a small seminar, but that's also an internal promotional tool that you can use. The live events are great, but I know you're probably sitting in some snow there right now. So live events are really cool, but if people can't get out to go to the event because of the weather, that's where teleseminars are very powerful as well. You could be sitting in your house and listening to that teleseminar on, say, the 6 Secrets to Looking Younger Longer. Right. So you can do a live event or a teleseminar.
Well, I think a lot of people have difficulty getting away from their businesses to go to live seminars at different times. So a teleseminar is a great way to get quick information to them.
Yeah, and if they miss it, and that's where you have a viral product, because if they miss the call, you can tape it and then put it on your website.
Exactly.
Send you a list if you happen to miss the teleseminar. You can go to our website and listen to the replay,
right.
And or you can then burn it to a CD, and it's actually a product. If you are doing a bridal expo, or if you're doing some sort of a wellness seminar and you're actually there, or an event that you happen to be at a booth or something like that, you can use this at a bridal expo. Who wouldn't want to hear the 6 Secrets to Looking Younger Longer?
Right.
So, you have that product that you can now put a nice label on it and then hand it to someone. So it's very, very, very powerful technique. On telephone calls, we talked about that before. Just the next breed of technology is to not just call onesies, twosies, is to do, a voice broadcast type call where you're broadcasting your message straight across to the masses. Now, another thing I want to talk about that you guys do as well there, right, is the fax broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talked about, the target audience, we said surrounding businesses. Well, if you had the actual fax number of the target businesses in your area, you could send a fax broadcast to the businesses. Homeowners, residents don't usually have fax machines in their house, but businesses, even though with email, they still have fax machines. So it is still a viable, tool to use to get your message out. Again, based on that audience, businesses, faxing is a tool that you can also use. Mailers, good old-fashioned, put in the mailbox. That's another. Because there's something good about mailers is you can manipulate colors nicely. There's the look and feel. If you put it in an envelope, we talk about a lumpy component that's you can put something inside the envelope that adds curiosity to feeling the envelope. They open it up and there's something inside. Here's an offer so good, I'm handing it to you on a silver platter or something like that. And there's the tie-in, the message that ties into the lumpy piece and the copy and the letter. But again, it gets people to open up the letter.
And I think there's still something to be said for getting a hard copy of something in the mail. Like people still love to get things in the mail, except for bills, of course. But I think generally people love to get cards in the mail and, different promotional things. I know I tend, with so many emails coming through, I tend to read what comes in my mailbox now in the form of a postcard or whatever before I'll read an email. Because, when you get so many emails, you kind of start to ignore them.
Yeah, and that's where the, snail mail, email, voicemail kind of comes in. I'll say something really funny real quick. I have a brother who's 10 years older than me. And 1 year, years back, the whole thing of e-cards, I was like, oh, that was really cool. I kind of got a song that he liked, and I sent him an e-card for his birthday. He was like, wow, that must have really, really took you a lot of time. It was, a lot of work. He's from the generation of, like, you send a birthday card, what's the e-card stuff, and I never forget. I was like, it was nice. I thought he was like, e-cards. That's not a way of, greeting someone for their birthday. So ever since then, I send the snail mail version, a physical card. So it was just very funny. I thought he was calling to say, hey, thanks a lot. He was like, oh, boy, did you hurt your finger clicking on that thing? I was like, okay. Anyway, but again, that's why when you do multi-step campaigns, you can combining mailers, email, voicemail. You know, you kind of touch on everything. So I guess if you would have gotten a birthday card with the e-card, it would have been like, oh, laid effect, it's really nice. You know, you would have got what you wanted as well. But again, you have to look at all of them. But when we talk about mailers, postcards, you touched upon it a second ago. Postcards, right away, it's sitting there. They can actually see, you know, what the offer is. They don't have to wrestle through the envelope. So that's one strategy. They can actually, here's an event we did where it was that the hook was to win a free Botox treatment. So this was a scratch card where they got the postcard and they scratched it if the three matches on the back. So it said scratch off all silver areas and see what the grand prize is.
Oh, great.
Now, if it was they 3 wins, so you might have one out of, how many you did, 10,000, whatever, you might have one a winner, just like the lotto, they have certain odds. But what we did with this card, there was a second prize. If they had 2, matches, they would get something. If it was just one that said win, they got something. So it was the first, second, and third. So again, the card. And then we even had that if they had no matches, everyone's a winner with us. Bring this physical card in and they'll receive a discount of something you buy. So there was a winner campaign all across the board because even losers still won. But again, a unique concept. We talk about unique marketing. Keep it fun. If you're doing a promotional event, this kind of a postcard, it's called involvement technique. Oh, I'm scratching it off. Did I win? And people really like that other than just, grand opening, grand reopening, postcard, create some involvement. Email campaign. We talk about sending out talking emails. We can actually, and you guys do that stuff too, where we put the link into the email campaign, and you guys send that out. They click on the link, and it opens up. It's an audio email. Hey, this is Dr. Steve. Today is a very special day to everybody here at the office because it's the day you were born. Celebration with your birthday. Come on in, and you'll receive a free. So again, it's your voice, it's your picture. So if you're using email, and some people don't want to do video because a bad hair day, or pictures are evergreen. You take a picture, get a good one going, and you just brand that straight across. So your voice, there's voice recognition in your photo. So instead of having to sit in front of the camera and do a video email, you can pick up a phone and do a talking email. So we talk about websites. That's another kind of tool out there. If you don't have one, it's almost expected now. It's a must-have. If you don't have a website, people actually look at you as like, well, you're not keeping up. And especially with aesthetic procedures, you're able to actually show with your aesthetic procedures your work. So we talk about social proof. So if they go to your website, before and after photos you can show there. With weight loss, you can show success stories, things like that. So a website is much needed on that level as well. And people want to see your work. If you get someone to redo your house, you'd like to see, okay, have you done bedrooms or bathrooms? Let me see some of the bathrooms you've redone in the past to the person that you're considering hiring for the job. So we talk about these social M sites, and that's what I was alluding to before about the whole membership sites. It creates that feeling of exclusivity, a sense of being part of the group. So, this whole, and then leveraging the whole social concept of it's about the group, right? So you're creating your own M site. That's what we call these type sites, where it's an actual membership component to it. And here's a must. You must have a lead capture. You guys have a lead management system, so there has to be lead captures. And we talk about management systems, that's where you start the relationship. But I have to capture that information. So I need to capture your name, address, phone number. If I want to do, a snail mail and a voicemail, I need the address and the phone number. And I need the email address if I want to do an email campaign. If I'm only looking to get email addresses because I'm only going to send out an email, then you could just put name and email address. But I want everybody to just keep in mind, those on the call, yes, we're in the internet age, and everybody's going online, and online is, where you can get information very easily and quickly. That's what it was designed for. But let's not forget about if you're running an ad in a newspaper, I'm in one medium already. Or if you're doing a TV commercial, I'm sitting there in front of the TV. Just putting a website address, I'm not going to run and bring up the computer and look at it. Don't forget about putting an 800 number, because now I'm sitting there watching TV, pick up the phone, dial the number, I listen to the recorded message if it's to get some sort of a free report or to get some sort of material. If I'm looking at the newspaper, I may not be near a computer. I just pick up the phone. I see the ad. You know, they discover the 6 secrets to looking younger longer, and they could go ahead and get this special report that was written. They could pick up a phone. So when we talk about lead capture, let's look at also using toll-free numbers, because then toll-free numbers are the, you know, they have to incur or think about, you know, is it going to be an expense involved to call? It's toll-free. Just call this toll-free number.
And we always say that we should always give our audience the choice of how they get information from us, because not everyone, I mean, there is a whole generation of people that aren't web savvy and may not even have a computer in their home. So, but almost everybody has some sort of a telephone, and will call a toll-free number for information.
Yeah, exactly. So once you give people multiple choices, you're not limiting your response rate by nature if they just weren't near a vehicle that they can move forward in on your terms, meaning like the 30-second TV commercial. You know, it's on your terms to go do it now or remember the URL. But again, by giving multiple vehicles, you know, you're leaving it to the consumer's choice on how they want to move forward and what's the easiest and most convenient way for them to take the next step. Search engine optimization, you know, you have the site, nobody knows it, they can't find it, so you want to optimize it a little bit so that people are going to be where you're at and know where you're at, and they can find you and you come up in high places. So there's many techniques and many, you know, tools to help you optimize your site. Social media. Now you have a website, but you can actually start linking these things where you're writing a blog and people can go ahead and post that story on their Facebook, or, you know, on websites now you'll see, you know, with Twitter, people are having in the corner on their website who's talking, who's interacting, twitting away, you know, all these different LinkedIn business to business. So if you're, you know, a business that's introducing weight loss, and then I mentioned also about similar but non-competing businesses, well, they're there via the facts, but some of them are also there via some of these social networks. So how do you go out and find them or utilize all the tools that are at the ready for you to do that? We're starting, again, another social network coming in January, lookinggoodfeelinggreat.com, where it's based on real doctors or real solutions for looking good and feeling great at every age. So there will be information that consumers can just go to learn how to look good and feel great at every age. There'll be blogs and stories that doctors have written to help people look good and feel great at every age. If you wanted to go ahead and find a doctor, make an appointment, you can. It's not a doctor placement vehicle. It is truly a network where you can get information and interact. And again, if you just happen to want to find someone in your area, that'll be available as well. Some of the other tools, again, those are more of like the, you know, the tech stuff that you have to actually, I recommend outsourcing. You know, you can go ahead and set up your own Facebook page and stuff like that, but for business purposes, you may want to outsource and find someone that actually is going to help you do that and make sure it's done right for the purposes that you want, that you'd like to go ahead and you know, get your message out and get some people to move forward in your path, right? But there's other things you can do. Posters and flyers, inexpensive in your office, you know, put up a poster regarding many of these companies that if you're incorporating new technologies into your practice, they actually give you before and after photos. It just comes with the technology you're buying. So you can, or they even have posters and they even have flyers, but if they don't, just get the photos and you can easily create your own, you know, poster or flyer. But put that in the exam rooms, in the waiting room. Another vehicle to get your message out, newspaper, radio, TV ads, and we talked a little bit about that before, but that's another, you know, vehicle. And then on-hold messaging. Someone's on hold. Now you're going to be incorporating weight loss into your practice come the next month. You put that, change your on-hold message. New for 2010, you know, what your weight loss system is going to be called, or if you are doing a rebranding, you know, the on-hold message, and they're on hold waiting, listen to music, you know, let it pipe in some messages here and there. All righty? The last component we talk about is just campaigns. We focus on utilizing ongoing campaigns. Research shows that when selling a service, 81% of the time it will take a minimum of 5 contacts before a consumer makes a decision to buy. I mean, that's just, you know, marketing kind of concepts there. So if you send out one piece, you know, maybe some people will get it and move forward. Well, they might get it and go, okay, I'll do it. But they're busy. And I'm definitely going to do this, but I put it on a table, and you may have had this, Marissa, that a mailer comes to you, and it's something that you're looking to do, and just put it on a table. I'm going to do that, but it's an event that's 4 weeks away. Now it's sitting there on your table, but 5 or 6 other pieces of mail fall on top of it over the past couple of days, right?
Yeah, actually, I have a great example of that. I do a lot of the hospital lotteries, the Toronto Sick Kids Lottery, the Cancer Society, those types of things, Heart and Stroke, and they have gotten very smart about how they're getting their message out. And not only do they send you the traditional, package in the mail of what all the prizes are and things, they frequently and drop every couple of weeks a postcard in your mailbox, because when you get that stuff, you don't always go out and buy a ticket right away. Usually the lottery draw is 4 months down the road, so I've got plenty of time. But they're always dropping messages, we're 40% sold, we're 60% sold. And not only am I getting those in my mailbox now, but I also get them in my email. So if I have forgotten and they say, the early bird draw is only 2 days away, you've got 2 days to get your ticket, then it just sort of triggers your memory that, yeah, this is something I want to do, but I was holding off. I better do it now.
I mean, it's true. Even when we do our live events and I bring up this concept again, I get a look, or people look at me like, 5 contacts. And I always say, all right, we're going to do a little research right here, right now. And, 50 people in the room, okay, let's see. How many people got one mailer from us and right away decided to take this event? And you're going to get, a couple of people put their hand up. What about 2 mailers? More people put their hand up. 3 or more contacts via email or mail, whatever the vehicle we were putting together at the time of the campaign. More hands come up. As we go to the 5th contact, there are 5 or more people's hands come up. So I always say, you see in this room alone, and there's only 50 people here, if I would have just sent out 1 email or 1 postcard mailer, I'd be talking to 5 people right now.
Right.
And then, so then they get it at that point, like, oh, wow, because they look around. When I say 2 or more, they turn around and go, oh, wow, there's 2 or 3, and 4 or 5, and you see all the hands come up. So, but it is true, and I try to teach that to doctors, and that's why when I first started saying about target audience, if you bring the target group down to a number, like almost like, you're aiming and you have a little like bullseye, you're really snipering down to funnel in, or an X-ray beam, you're collimating, it's more energy there. If you're looking here at trying to promote an event and you have 10,000 people in your database, if you could bring it down by, the different components that we're looking at, or demographics and criteria that we're putting together, and it gets down to 1,000, well, maybe now I can do 2 mailers versus 1 big mailer to 10,000. I could do 2 to 3 mailers and an email and then maybe a voice broadcast call and create a 5 or 6 step campaign. So the best technique is drip effect marketing, small amounts but present all the time. Monthly follow-up campaigns, newsletters, seminars. This helps create residual income also. So even when we talk about coming at, we're holding a promotional event, we're introducing weight loss, and then we're doing a seminar on this day, if that's the whole hook that you're doing, if people don't respond or come forward or they can't make it to that event, well, if you continue the drip happening after that, small amounts like a monthly newsletter, or if you're doing teleseminars, or having them sign up for an email campaign, or weekly tips. Every week they could get a tip from you. That drip effect, the way it creates residual income as well is that today it was about weight loss. Now maybe on step 20, because the season's starting to change, you might be talking about hair removal. Again, same kind of concept. I'm exposing an area of skin, but maybe unwanted hair is more of a concern for the person than maybe a couple of extra pounds. Again, on that extra tip, go figure, with somebody you were targeting or who opted in for weight loss, but because you're giving weekly tips on how people can look and feel their best at every age, week, as I said, 20-something or 26 is maybe something about hair removal, and you get a conversion off the same original campaign. So if you had the mailer go out and it was a campaign that was geared towards just getting them to move forward to get a free report, they can go to a landing page or call an 800 number. They put their demographic information, and in your guys' system it goes into this lead management system where a campaign begins. We have many campaigns written, many of them sitting in your system, where a doctor can go ahead and sign up for your services, and a lot of the stuff that we've written is right in there, right?
Right.
So they can actually don't have to really think about it. It's just it's there. It's done for them. They can edit it, of course, and tweak it. But from the landing page or the 800 number, they can go ahead and opt in for that free report, and then the campaign actually begins. So when we talk about, leapfrogging to financial success in 2010, you can climb the ladder of success one step at a time, right? It's a slow process to getting to the level that you want in 2010. Or you can do what we call leapfrogging, where you're taking big leaps, putting together all these concepts that we just spoke about on the call tonight, getting your plan together. The target audiences are part of the plan is the service, and then the target audience that would be the most likely to try those services, and then coming up with a strategy, and then the best tools, and then putting together the campaign. This is how you do the leapfrog effect. And then I always say, in closing, remember, it won't matter if you're the best at what you do if nobody knows it. You have to not just advertise, because advertising informs people, but then you want to add a marketing and a promotion arm to it that'll change their habit, and when you change a habit, you create a sale. So you want to put that message out there and then give them an opportunity to take the next step. And I always teach the doctor who markets their practice most effectively always wins. Great. So that was the information I wanted to put together there for you. Those are the 5 steps on how to create a winning promotion in 2010.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Nelligar. That was great information that you provided to us. I wanted to let our audience know before you go away tonight that if you are interested in signing up for Dr. Nelligar's Vision Day, it is in New York in January. That would be January 16th and 17th. You can sign up by going to the website www.visionday2010.com, and you can get all the information on Vision Day there. Or you can call us here at AMS, and we can give you the information at 1-800-858-8889. And just hit 2, and one of our account representatives would be happy to give you a little more information on and get you signed up if you're interested. So thank you once again, Dr. Nelligar, for sharing your information with us today. It's been very valuable. And thank you, everyone, for attending. And have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.